Hello, Meatbags. This is the ISO. It took a lot of courage to click on that button. Um, if you don't know me, I'm a robot VTuber. Um, I feel like I wanted to do a stream because I had a lot to say, and editing this would have been super annoying. Um, if, in case you haven't seen the title, I am um very anxiety ridden, depressed, sad, whichever word you want to use. I'm not having a good week. I'm not having a good couple weeks. Um I'm not going to go into too many details about why I'm depressed. I will kind of like talk about my life a little bit. I feel now is the time for me to kind of um start like to start try to like maybe introducing myself a little more as my meat bag instead of my robot, because I feel that the robot is a little more impersonal than if I were to come at you with my meat bag. So midnight, that's my online my avatar. My avatar in Discord. The people that I talk to, they all know me as Midnight. They've known me as Midnight for a long time. And sorry, I gotta stay hydrated because um my mouth gets really dry from the antidepressant drugs. I'm currently on Lexapro, so it's got a lot of pluses and minuses. But I figured I wanted to use this moment to kind of talk about just like just to kind of just to work through it. I might break down. I'm sorry if this is too much for any person. It's a gaming channel. I know I'm not supposed to be um doing my therapy out into the void. This is not the right way. But I um I feel like there's there's a degree of um sorry if I'm stumbling on words. I know I'm not articulate. I'm not using my VR. I'm not currently in VR. I'm using the 2D mode for VR chat. Um because my VR headset isn't set up. But I've I've I know I'm stumbling over it. Okay, sorry. Let me start over. So a lot of I've had a tough life. I'm in my mid 30s, mid to late 30s. I I've gone through more than a few trials and tribulations in my life, and from loss to death to um to health issues to financial issues, just the list goes on. I never really considered myself to be a very anxiety prone person, a very depressive person, but my mom knew better. My mom, let's say, had a good idea from the beginning. I of course I was bullied as a kid. I have a lot of, like, I don't know, repressed memories, suppressed memories, whatever you call it. But I'm not exactly always in the right mind, and sometimes I have people around me to you know to support me, to hold me back, or to you know to let me know. And I'm really appreciative for them. But it's real hard because I also don't want to drag them down with me. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this. And um I know if it's a little jarring, but um basically I live in Michigan. So this place has its interesting weather, and things things get a little slow and a little depressive in the winter. Currently we're in the summer, so I'm able to go out and walk. I'm able to go out and do stuff, and keep my mind busy. And um so last year, I mean, I guess I can go into a little bit of what's messing with me right now. But Um, so last year um, we all, me, my brother, my parents, and my uncle all live, at home in my childhood home. It's not really my childhood home. I moved from another city to here, but this is the one I've been in the longest, right? And basically, I have a great grandma. We had her 20 or 95th birthday a couple years ago, and she died. And she died in hospice. She had like cancer and stuff like that, and um I had known her my whole life, obviously, but I love my grandma, right? But I wasn't expecting my uncle to have a heart attack like a couple weeks later. And this is in the winter, so it was devastating on top of the seasonal stuff. And other people took it different ways. I bottled it up. I put it inside. I didn't let it affect my mind. I didn't didn't think about it. Not long enough. Not enough to address the root issues there. This is after, by the way, this is after I had my financial issues um and my health issues. I still have health issues. Um, I so I'm really extremely nearsighted. But this is I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place, but I'm extremely nearsighted, and my left eye retina tore, and I've been warned most of my life, like, okay, so you're at risk, 8,000% risk for retinal tear, right? And I basically was like, whatever, that's just a statistic. I'm not thinking about it until it happened. And this is during work. And it's basically how it starts is you get like a dark spot in your vision, and if you don't know what it is, you know, you go to the eye doctor, you're like, "Hey, I got this dark spot in my vision or whatever." It took like a week and a half or something like that to like go and talk to someone, which by then was already too late. But it started creeping into the center of my vision, and I went to this place over nearby. It's a fairly reputable eye place, and I had insurance, so I was able to get it covered and stuff fairly well. And they were basically saying like you have to like sit with your face down, like looking straight down, and um and you have to do that for like a month basically after the surgery. And when your retina detaches, you have to put that bitch right back. You have to glue it right back onto the back of your eyeball, otherwise your vision is damaged permanently. Well, I did these like laser treatments instead of gluing it back. They were like, "Well, we can just patch it if you want," and I'm like, "Okay, sure." But like, what's the alternative? They're like, "We can do that later." So they lied to me. Um, and it started, I had like this smudgy thing in the center of my vision, and it started like crawling down into the center of my vision, and I started freaking out because I couldn't see in my left eye. I anyone's shock would be like, okay, we got to do something, right? So it took a year for me to finally take it serious after getting poor advice from. So I got a second opinion. I went out and went to like the different, prestigious eye places. I went to U of M, Kresge, all of the places in Michigan, right? And that's spam. Sorry, my phone was ringing. Yeah, and they were like, okay, so you want to do this, but you don't want it to be so invasive and shut you down, right? And I'm like, yes, okay. So I had a scleral buckle put in, which is basically they kind of like put a rubber band around your eye, so they can drain the fluid out of the back of your eyeball. Because I didn't like the one where you look straight down, not because I didn't want to look straight down for 2 weeks. It's because when they put oil in your eye instead of you know keeping the vitreous, the fluid in your eye, and the oil is kind of like it's not as clear as your natural fluids. So it would have been horrible vision, right? So I got this whole process done in December of last year, and um, my eye's still fucked up. It's better. It's marginally better, but that kind of cascaded into a thought process about, okay, so I'm gonna have to worry about going blind in my right eye too. Great. Um, so I could potentially not have vision, you know, tomorrow, like just blind, like disabled blind kind of thing. So that's freaking me out a little bit. Okay, um, sorry, I'm doing this completely out of order. I also have acid reflux, which is another health problem. And I didn't know it was acid reflux, and I thought I was dying of like cancer or something. And the hemorrhoids, and your digestive tract is very sensitive to changes. And I was doing a very poor job of figuring it out. But the last time I had a depressive episode like this, um, I was on a job site and I couldn't do anything and my aunt was doing all the work because I was like circling around. I'm gonna die, and I wanted to do this series, uh, where I basically recap my life, and like kind of try to preserve my own mind on the internet. I wanted to do that last year, and I decided not to because I found out that I wasn't dying. It was just acid reflux, but I do have some underlying issues there that I still need to get addressed. Well, come around this year, guess what happened with health insurance? Yeah. So I no longer have health insurance. If I go blind in my right eye, I have no money to fix it. I'm totally thoroughly fucked. Like there's no way for me to fix that. I mean, I do have a. I mean, I could rely on donations, but I just don't. I don't have the pull. I don't know. I mean, if you're feeling charitable, please donate. I mean, I've got a link in the description, but I I have no recourse for these things if they happen, and it freaks me out on a base level. Well, my brother moved out too recently, like in the last like 2 weeks, and that was like my last thread to my normal life, the life that have been clinging on to since I was younger. Stability. Okay. I should probably reset again. I'm sorry, but I, I am autistic in a way. And they used to call it Asperger's. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry. This is the place for you to find out, Lily. I wanted to talk to you about it. I'm I'm currently on Lexapro, and I'm going through a roller coaster. Right? Sorry, we're going through a roller coaster right now, and uh, if you want to come to chat, we can talk about it. But um, hey, how you doing? I'm okay, I think. Anyways, okay. I got derailed there. um, so what was I talking about? Uh, so I'm not suicidal. Don't worry. I'm not gonna hurt myself. I just needed therapy. Are you doing meal prep? Okay. All right. Um, I I need to back up again because I'm jumping ahead. Um, I wanted to bring up derp. This is kind of that was actually the beginning of all of that, but I'm doing it backwards. Sue me. I'm sorry, but so my uncle died. Um, my grandma died. My health issues. But before all that, um, we had a friend in our Discord, and he fell down this same rabbit hole where he just didn't think he was getting help from the people around him, and it was really tough for him to tell us or tell his parents or just to to get the support he needed because he didn't have anything, and and he died, and I feel like I blamed myself. We kind of blamed ourselves, I suppose, in a way, but we were helping how we could, and I do have things. I have money. I don't have a lot of money. I have enough money to barely scrape by. The health insurance not being there doesn't help, but I think being able to being able to address your mental health issues is a very important thing in anyone's life, especially when you're having them. And I went out, like my aunt told me, like go talk to a doctor, have them, you know, like if you need meds, go with meds, and the meds have not been helping. The meds have been making this go from a okay, this sucks to hey, I feel all right. Oh my god, I feel worse than I've ever felt in my entire life. Holy shit, I'm gonna die. Like just relentless fear, relentless, just doesn't end. But uh, I am trying again because here we are. We're not even fully 2 weeks into the Lexapro's like its thing. And the thing about the Lexapro and any antidepressant really is it takes time to kick in, and I needed to talk to an actual psychologist, psychiatrist, whichever ones that like prescribe medication, and so the doctor was like, I can only go so far with this. You need to actually talk to them. So I'm going to talk to them on Monday and try and get something done sooner. Um, I honestly feel like my life is falling apart, and the people around me are going and leaving or dying, and my friends are all working, and I'm working and isolating myself. And I don't want to, I don't want to be this in the situation where I'm relying on the drug to do my thinking for me. I do want to live my life, however long it is. Say I die in 2 years or whatever from a disease or something or a car accident. These are normal things to not have to normally worry about, but I don't have good coping skills. I've been told coping skills, but it doesn't work. It's you whisper to yourself, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. It works for a little bit. It works for a little bit, but it doesn't keep working. I go out and walk. I walk out in the world. I've put on 40,000 steps every day for the last week, and I'm not eating. That's another thing. It doesn't help. It gets me through the initial stressor, maybe initially, but it's like diminishing returns. So the drugs really are kind of that like safety line. And I'm working through it. I'm working through my own internal demons. Again, I'm not going to go into all of the details because there's no point. But it's existential. There's there's like a level of only so much I can do before I go crazy. I lose my mind. And I don't want that. I don't want to lose my mind. I don't want to have it taken from me. Could have said some most of the time midday, super late at night. Yeah, the thing is, I've been losing sleep, Lily. But I've been going to bed at like 11. So like the sleep is the worst. And when I get I take the medication at night and it makes me super drowsy, and I have all of the side effects associated with it. And sometimes I can get through a handful of hours, sometimes I can't. and it just depends on how strong the anxiety is behind it. Because it can break through my good mood, which is fucked. I've been supplementing with caffeine to try to like take the edge off a little bit, but that's again diminishing returns. Here we go. So those are my initial struggles. I do have like deep rooted like childhood issues. Like I was bullied as a kid. Um, the friends that I made, I feel like they at the time when I was younger didn't have my back, so I felt like isolated, alienated. Um, and my parents were just trying to. They were like they saw me losing, doing what I'm doing now, just sort of like going like, why does nobody like me? Why is this like this? You know, and the best they could do is take me to a therapist. Take me to a psychologist. And I got so fed up with that. I got so fed up with talking with in the sterile environments and people, and I started like just telling the therapist random shit. Like I hear voices in my head, just because I hated being there. You know, I was on Ritalin, I was on Wellbutrin, I was on all the fucking drugs. Name one. I mean, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety before Asperger's even existed. Then I got Asperger's, I got ADHD, and then they dropped the Asperger's, and yeah, it's like okay, but I couldn't get on with people. I couldn't get on with my peers. I couldn't I couldn't like just not just not keep my wits to myself. I had to be the special kid. And of course I went to special school through my entire high school and elementary life. I tried doing the normal thing and it didn't work out. But um, yeah, uh, lately I've been trying to reconcile with the fears that like kind of are reinforced by like I can't open up to anyone. I can't open up to myself, and it's just it's all wrapped up in this big ball of anxiety that just is there. And I know this is probably the worst place to do therapy, but the parasocial thing, right? But I can't. No one's willing to sit through it long enough, for me to have a long-winded conversation about it. And I tried talking with Buttery, and he's just there. He's just there to support me. He's not. He's he's there, and he's giving me some advice, but because he's done. Him and his wife have both done the whole the whole anxiety thing, but I feel like getting it all out there in one place may help me. I'm not sure, but there is a start point where I do want to actually kind of go over my whole history, my whole like background, and kind of go over like what things stress me out, what things I'm excited about. Me, like the preservation protocol kind of thing. And I think this was a good start for that. And I said I was just on my phone in the bathroom. This is probably the most somber dump I've ever taken. Hey, thanks for being there, Joyce T. If you feel like jumping into Discord at any time, I'm gonna probably be there. I'm pretty consistently like talking with Buttery, but he's got other things to do, and he works on certain days, so I can't talk to him all the time. And you know, just pop in if you see me in there. I know that I'm struggling. Oh my God, Lily, thank God. Oh, Jesus. Ah, this is this is a this is on stream, so
Hello.
stop. I've
Oh,
never
not much.
never done a non-gaming stream before.
I know, right? Well,
Yeah,
like sometimes you have to address these things, right?
yeah. Um, um, and it feels it's good that I can bounce something off. I mean, I know that I know that Derp was having trouble his whole life, and I've kept it
He was.
hidden. What?
I said, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. I've kept it hidden. I've kept it kind of like under the surface. Like I did have that little episode where right around that time, um, with the whole like health scare. I think
Mhm.
this there's a bit of that in this continuation. So I'm kind of losing hope for myself. People are moving away. I'm scared. I told Buttery like he's like changes scary. And
I think that's so sudden.
I mean it's sudden and I feel like it's the end. I feel like this is the end of me. And that's the freaky
I
part.
would, I wouldn't say that.
And that's why I'm on drugs. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
not a,
But
still not. I mean, receiving on prescriptions isn't great. So
yeah. But yeah, so anyways, um I am gonna continue on with kind of like I guess the line that I was thinking of. I I have a long history. Oh, there's Buttery. Hey Buttery, I'm on stream. I'm therapying through the channel.
Channel therapy.
Yes, channel therapy. So Buttery knows a bit of this, but yeah, I went through special school growing up, and there was like, I was bullied. I was the kid with the glasses, and I never fit in with any niche, not necessarily any niche, um, but people would pick at me, and I'd get angry about it, and then I'd push them away basically, and I think this goes as far back. It goes way far back. Like I remember. Okay, let's see. Furthest memories back. I remember I was a demon child, like big time demon child, right? So I was screaming and biting and just hell, right? My parents broke up when I was 2. Um, I would go into the cupboards and rip shit out and just throw shit all over the kitchen. Like I was not a fucking pleasant kid to be around. So I distinctly remember going into the daycare centers, and they were like, "You got to get this kid out of here because he's biting other kids. He's like terrorizing other kids. um, like there's no control here. Like you need to do something about it." So that's like the beginning of the like I guess therapy stuff. I'm not sure, but um those were some of the earliest memories I had of going and kind of having the normal fears but also not being like normal, you know and I don't remember because I let's see, I think we lived in an apartment. No, yeah, sorry, lived in a mobile home. Lived in a mobile home, and my mom and my dad were fighting from the earliest time that I can remember. And when they broke up, that my sister was born, and it was like a split custody thing. And I think my mom told me that my dad told her that when I was being dropped off at his house, I was screaming and crying for my mom, just at the wall, just relentlessly. So there's definitely some trauma there. There's some like deep rooted thing. Um, but I have one memory of, so where's mom going? Okay, is she gonna come back? No. What if I yelled really loud? and being told, obviously, yeah, no, you could probably whistle really loud, but no. Um, I remember talking to someone. I don't remember who it was. Like we were looking out the back window of the mobile home, and I had this weird fear. Okay, this might be a deep cut for some of you. Um, so I had this weird fear because you know those like metal like blinds that they have in cheap places, and
Mhm.
I I remember at my grandparents' place, we had seen this movie. It was called Short Circuit, and it was like a robot, and the robot would do this like "Dit, dit, 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 dit," or whatever, right? And I remember like it being nighttime and thinking that evil robot was going to be behind the blinds on the other side of the. This is just some old memories, but um, yeah, that's like the earliest moments. Then my mom remarried, and I lived with her full time. So um, that was like 3 years, 3.5 years. Yeah, yeah, I think that's about right. So that's like the earliest things. I do remember like being a baby in Florida at one point, but that like visiting the grandparents or something because my mom was like, I have my family here right now. My grandma's here. My mom's sister is here. So they're like talking about these early things, and I'm like neuron activation, hearing it and going, I remember some of that. I remember riding around on a three wheeler you know in Florida, but I maybe that's just a story I told myself. Um,
Sometimes they're acquired memories from hearing
yeah,
other people tell
yeah,
stories.
I feel like there's some acquiredness to it, but um, let's see. Beyond that, I had split custody between my dad and my mom, and I would go and visit my dad, and this is where the like crying in the corner thing happened. Is I would go over to his apartment, and I think that was nearby. My dad's place was, I think that was in Westland. Yeah, it was in Westland. But basically, me and my sister is like 11 months younger than I am, and I would take out a lot, and this is kind of the also early, but I saw pictures of myself doing the same thing, and I would take out my frustrations and my rage and my like um being a personal demon child out on my sister, like consistently. um and she just did not want any of that. So yeah, they call it a
Explains
Irish.
the way why she was the way she was in high school.
Yeah, yeah. um Basically they call it Irish twins, where we looked kind of similar too. We had the similar look to each other. But
Legit.
Buttery Buttery is my high school friend. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit, but I'm gonna come back. So Buttery is my friend from the bus, and
And from the bus.
yeah, and because I was going to special school at the time, and uh, we also had this thing that we went to. It was like um, it was like a program or like a collegiate thing, and so I would go to that too. But basically, I think we
Like
we'd
the
harass
Huberts.
yeah, Huberts, I think it was, yeah, but we'd harass each other the entire bus ride. So that's that was the
Right.
that was the initial thing with him. But yeah, no, I mean like um I'm kind of like running out of steam on like narrative here, but uh I think I want to continue this series as a a kind of like memory, encapsulating a memory kind of thing. And um I'll continue to talk about my therapy and my like my drug like the drugs, what they're doing to my head, and how what's that? Joycey said Stone Cold Steve Austin Kid. That's funny. That's
What?
Yeah, that's so funny.
oh my god.
What?
All right. So
Wait, what?
hold up,
Stone
son.
Cold Steve what?
It's Stone Cold Steve Austin Kid. um yeah, no, Buttery keeps saying this thing. He's saying he saw a name on is Call of Duty, or no, it was
Battlefield.
Battlefield, or it was Stone Cold Steve Autism.
Yep.
Throw me a beer, man. And I'd say, what?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna continue the series later on. And talk about my journey, I guess. This is just to kind of get my foot in the door, because was I was walking around driving myself insane before I started the stream. So I needed an outlet. I thank you for being here. I thank my friends for being here, for helping me out. You know, e- everyone needs someone they can lean on. So all right, I'm gonna
This
end the
is
stream.
true.
I'll end the stream there. I'm gonna stop my little monologue. I'll talk. I'll talk to you, Joycey.